Right. Well, I want to thank you for taking time out of your day to join us. My name is Carl Willis. I am the CEO at Agent Branding and Marketing, and we're going to be discussing the move today towards what's called zero-click search. That's something that's been accelerating in the world of Google search and online search. And that's why I've entitled today's presentation, Your Website is Going Away, what you as an insurance agent need to do now. And what we're going to be looking at is the fact that insurance agency websites are not literally disappearing, but their role in the buying journey is rapidly changing. It's changing fast. And prospects are increasingly getting their answers, their comparisons, and their recommendations, their next steps, all directly from AI powered search experiences before they ever visit your agency website. And so the agencies that are positioned to win are going to stop treating the website as the center of the marketing universe and start building a connected digital knowledge ecosystem that AI platforms can understand, can trust, and can easily recommend. And so that's the journey I'm going to be taking you on here over the next few minutes and really give you a game plan to help you put things together in a way that is cohesive, in a way that the AI agents and engines can understand, and really give you a preview of where Google in particular is going over the next few months. So let's talk about the strategic shift that you as an insurance agent need to understand. For the last 15 to 20 years, insurance marketing has followed a very familiar model, and that model has been to get found, to get the click, to send that click to the website, and then convert the visitor. And that model is beginning to break. What you need to realize is that the website is not disappearing, but the old job that it used to do is. See, today, a prospect can ask, who is the best independent insurance agent near me for home and auto? Which local insurance agency has experience with high value homes? Who can help me understand rising homeowner premiums in my area? What Medicare agent near me has the strongest reviews? Which agency should I talk to if I need flood coverage and homeowners insurance? And increasingly, what's going to happen is Google or another AI platform may answer that question before the prospect ever visits a website. And so in the past, the old goal was to drive more visitors to the website. But the new goal is to build enough authority that AI can understand, trust, and then recommend the agency. And so your website is now moving from being the destination to becoming a data layer. In fact, it's becoming one of the data layers that AI uses to understand your agency, but it is not the only data layer. And that's a key concept you're going to want to take away from our topic today. So the strategic question is no longer simply how do I get more people to my website? It's becoming, does the digital ecosystem give AI enough evidence to confidently recommend my agency? Because your website is now part of a larger body of evidence. It's part of a larger ecosystem that AI is going to analyze in making its recommendation to the person doing the search. Now, when we talk about why this matters, we need to understand in particular what Google is doing because Google is moving to agent management. That's where they are taking search and Google actually has described this year in not only interviews with their CEO, but also in their I/O 2026 presentations back in May, that search in the Gemini era is doing the searching, researching, planning, and brainstorming for users. So the Gemini era of search is the Spark agent, which is the driver behind Gemini, actually doing the work on behalf of the person who is doing the search. And so AI mode searches are described as being longer, more conversational, and part of a quicker path from discovery to decision. So in AI mode, you have these conversational, longer, more detailed searches. And now AI agents can do the research and then take the next steps under the direction of the person doing the search. And so Google has been very clear that what they are moving their platform to is an agent management system, to where they are using their system so that AI agents can perform tasks on behalf of the person doing the search. And here's the real impact for you as an agent. A prospect may ask AI to compare local agents, evaluate reviews, interpret expertise, and shortlist who deserves the call before they ever click to your website. And so, what you need to understand is the shortlist is the new battleground. Last week, I was demonstrating how the agentic search process works to an agent in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And so I was giving them a scenario of a business owner with 3 vehicles who was looking for new coverage, wanting to bundle that coverage. And when we did that search, we used ChatGPT and we also used Google's Gemini as our search agents. And out of the Dallas Fort Worth area, it was returning to us 2 agents. Now, when you think about the DFW Metroplex, there are obviously more than 2 agents who are qualified to handle that transaction, but the AI agents were only naming 2 based on the criteria I was searching for. And that's the game that is going to be played here in the days ahead. Google in 2027 is going to really bring this agentic search process to bear on their platform. And so the agent who is beginning to make this shift now is going to have a great head start on everyone else who is just sitting around waiting. And so what we want to look at is that search is moving from keywords to decision-making conversations. In the old search model, traditional search was largely keyword driven. Things like auto insurance near me, home insurance agent, Medicare broker near me, State Farm agent near me, independent insurance agency. Those are the kinds of things that the prospect searched. And then Google displayed options. The prospect would then click links. The prospect would then conduct their own research. But in the new search model, AI search is increasingly handling more of the research. And so instead of typing several short searches, prospects can ask one detailed question. So, for example, I just bought a home outside of Dallas. My insurance premium is much higher than I expected. I also need auto coverage, and I want a local independent agent who can explain my options. Who should I talk to? And AI can then interpret the location, the coverage needed, the life situation, the price sensitivity, the desired level of expertise of the agent, the reviews, the agency reputation, the available services, and then the content authority. And so, as an insurance agent, you need to stop optimizing exclusively for keywords. And you need to start building authority around the decision-making conversations, because there are a lot of parameters that fall into that question being asked that are going to be unpacked in that process. Because the prospect is no longer just searching for a product, they are describing a situation or concern or location and a desired outcome. And that's what the AI is out there trying to help them put together. And so when we talk about agentic discovery, and this word agentic may be new into your terminology, but you're going to hear it more and more. What we're getting into is how prospects are going to ask and how information is going to be returned back to them. And so AI search is moving beyond simply answering questions. So most people are familiar with conversational AI. Ask ChatGPT a question, ChatGPT gives you an answer back. But AI agents are beginning to research, compare, evaluate, and eventually take action on behalf of the consumer. And what that means is the prospect of the future may not personally visit 10 insurance agency websites. Their AI may do much of that evaluation for them. So, for example, a consumer could eventually say, find me 3 highly rated independent insurance agencies within 15 miles that specialize in homeowners coverage, work with multiple carriers, have strong recent reviews, and can help me bundle home and auto. The AI may evaluate Google business profiles, websites, reviews, YouTube videos, social content, local citations, articles, frequently asked questions, service pages, third-party mentions, public agency information, and then narrow the field down to 3 candidates. And so here's the key question for you to consider. Will your agency make that short list? Because again, the consumer may not visit your website. The AI may do all of the evaluation for them. Because again, it's going to ask, research, compare, and recommend. So your website is now becoming one data layer out of many. And I really want you to grab a hold of this concept of data layers. This is something that Google talked a lot about at I/O 2026, the idea of a data layer, something that their CEO talked a lot about in his interviews this spring. Your website still matters. It's still important, but its strategic role is changing. It becomes part of the information layer that AI systems are using to understand who you are, where you operate, what products and services you offer, who you specialize in helping, what questions you can answer, what expertise you possess, and why someone should choose you. And your website is only one data layer of many. Let me say that again. Your website is only one data layer of many. And this is critical because other layers that the AI is going to look at include your Google business profile, your Google reviews, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, local directories, agency profiles, blog content, video transcripts, FAQ content, community involvement, third-party mentions, amongst others. So every one of those data layers is a critical point of decision making for that AI engine. And here's a strategic principle that we have taught over and over again for a number of years here at Agent Branding and Marketing. Isolated marketing channels are increasingly ineffective. That's why we have always taught the ecosystem principle. Your ideal consumer does not work in silos. They do not gather information in silos, and neither does the AI platform. It is going to look at you from a holistic ecosystem viewpoint, the same way that your customers do as well. Because AI does not see your SEO and your social media and your pay-per-click and your reviews and your video and your website as separate departments or separate silos. It sees the totality of that ecosystem. It sees the evidence, and your entire digital presence is a connected knowledge ecosystem. And so you want to be looking at how does that entire knowledge ecosystem present your agency to the public and to the AI. So every layer should consistently answer who you help, where you operate, what you know, and why you are trusted. And that answer should be consistent all across the board. So how do you do that? How do you get that consistency? How do you build that knowledge so that AI sees you consistently everywhere? Well, what you want to do is you want to build content around the decision loop. And the easiest way to do this is you've got to move beyond the initial question. So when somebody performs a search, let's take Google, for example, and Google AI analyzes that search. What it's really doing is it's looking for what are the 10 to 12 questions behind the question that's being asked. So what we want to do is we want to move beyond the initial question because prospects rarely have just one question. What AI is doing is it's anticipating the next question. So consider a homeowner who's searching, why did my homeowner's insurance increase? The next questions may be, can I lower my premium? Should I increase my deductible? Should I bundle home and auto? Does my roof affect my rate? Do I need flood insurance? What happens if my carrier non-renews me? Should I use an independent agent? How many carriers should my agent compare? What coverage should I avoid cutting? These are some of those follow-up questions that are behind the initial question. So AI systems are increasingly anticipating the next questions in that decision journey. And what you want to do is you want to develop content that is doing the exact same thing. And so I want to ask you this question. What are the 20 questions that your best prospects repeatedly ask before they do business with you? And those questions should become the foundation of your content strategy. So take a few moments and just think about that. What are the 20 questions that you and your team hear over and over again? What are those repeated things that continually come up in your agency? And from that, what you want to do is build a knowledge catalog, not just a blog. Blogging was the old strategy. Building a knowledge catalog is the way you win the AI game. See, in the old content strategy, what people did is they published generic articles. Things like 5 tips for saving on auto insurance, why homeowners insurance matters, benefits of life insurance, or how to choose an insurance agent. But the problem with that is that's commodity content. And almost any carrier, aggregator, publisher, or AI tool can produce those answers and that content. And so that content has no real value. What you need to do is produce authority content. Authority content is different because it's rooted in your clients, your market, your agency experience, your unique expertise, your underwriting environment, your carrier relationships, your claims observations, your local conditions, and again, your years of experience. That's what gives it real authority. Here's some examples. That might be something that looks like why homeowners insurance rates are rising in North Texas and what we're seeing with local carriers. Or instead of do I need flood insurance, it might say what Corpus Christi homeowners often misunderstand about flood coverage. Or instead of benefits of bundling, it might be when bundling home and auto actually saves money and when it doesn't. Or instead of how Medicare works, it might be the 3 Medicare questions we hear most often from people turning 65 in our community. See, the goal here is not publishing more generic content, it's creating a knowledge catalog that teaches AI what makes your agency uniquely useful. And that's market specific, experience based, and hard to copy content. The goal is to create better evidence for AI to recommend you. And that's what the knowledge catalog is all about. And here's the truth, the best content is already actually inside your agency. These are the questions that your team is answering each and every day, and it's the raw material that AI actually needs to recommend you. And so what you need to do is just really unlock that material. Oftentimes agents are telling us, I just don't know what to talk about. I don't know what to write. I don't know what to create videos on. But your team answers those content questions every day. So here's what you want to do. You want to look at your incoming phone calls, your quote conversations, your renewal conversations, your claims questions, your coverage reviews, your objection handling, your emails, your text messages, your social messages, and your client meetings. These are your gold mines that are going to unpack all of the things that AI is looking for in making recommendations. So let me give you a couple of examples here. If 3 homeowners ask, why did my premiums increase even though I never filed a claim? That is content. If prospects repeatedly ask, why is your quote different from what I got online? That's a content piece. If clients are asking, do I really need umbrella coverage? That's a content piece. I want you to understand something. AI should become a multiplier for you. The workflow should be real client questions coupled with your expertise, coupled with AI assisted repurposing, and then finalized with multi-platform distribution. When you chain things together that way, what you create is amplification. What you don't want to do is just sit down to Chat GPT and say, Write me an article on homeowners insurance. That's how you get what's called AI slop. And that is a quick road to nowhere. What you want to do is amplify your expertise, your authority, your experience, and then disseminate that across multiple platforms. Work smarter, not harder. And avoid the AI slop, what I just mentioned. AI should multiply and amplify your expertise. Remember, using AI does not automatically make your marketing AI centric. There is a major difference between AI generated slop and AI amplified expertise. The authority approach starts with your actual client questions, your agency perspective, AI assisted repurposing, taking your local market information, your unique explanation, and then having AI transform that experience into a blog article, short video, a YouTube video, a Google business profile post, a Facebook post, a LinkedIn post, FAQs, an email, and an ad creative. Repurposing that content, expanding it, repackaging it. You see, AI should never manufacture authority, but it should scale and expand that authority that is already inside the agency. When you do that, what you're going to do is you're going to create a flywheel so that you become omnipresent to your prospects on multiple platforms because they're on multiple platforms. I also want you to understand video is a trust and search asset. One of the things that Google really emphasized in May in their I/O 2026 presentations is video is now a major data layer for Gemini. And so one of the tools that came out this year that they introduced is called Ask YouTube. It's a new function that is introduced at YouTube. So video is going to become a really key piece of the data layer equation. And the goal here is not to become an influencer, it is to become the most documented local authority. And so you've got to bring video into your mix if you're not using it already. Now, a lot of agents are evaluating video using views, likes, shares, and followers, but that's really missing the point. The bigger opportunity is that video is another source of authority and it is another source of searchable information that AI can tap into. And so, again, you want to record simple answers to the questions that are already being asked at your agency on a daily basis. Why did my home insurance premium increase? What happens after a homeowner's non-renewal? Should I bundle home and auto coverage? What information should I bring when requesting a quote? What does an umbrella policy actually cover? When should I review my life insurance? What should I know before turning 65 and evaluating Medicare? Create data layers and create data information that AI can tap into on YouTube and on other short video platforms on these topics. And here's the production standard. You don't need a television studio. Authenticity matters more than polish. All you need is a good smartphone, good lighting, and clear audio. Turn that smartphone around, hit record, and talk for a minute and a half, 2 minutes. It's all you need. One question, one useful answer. The goal is not to be an influencer. Again, it's to become the most documented insurance agency and the most documented insurance authority in your local market. Now, again, repurpose every piece of content you create. one answer should become an entire ecosystem in itself. And let me give you an example workflow here. One 4-minute video answer to a question can become multiple pieces of content. So the video is why your homeowner's insurance premium increased this year. That one recording becomes a YouTube video. And from that YouTube video, it becomes 2 or 3 short form clips. It also becomes a blog article. It becomes a Google business profile post, a Facebook post, a LinkedIn post, a frequently asked question entry, an email to your clients, a retargeting creative, and a website resource. It's the same expertise, but it's now created multiple signals, and it has now created stronger brand authority. And so the strategic benefit is you are creating consistent authority signals on multiple platforms, the same expertise appearing across and throughout your ecosystem. So you are strengthening your brand familiarity, your search visibility, your AI discoverability, your consumer trust, your retargeting effectiveness, and your conversion metrics. And don't forget your Google business profile and reviews, because those are also machine readable reputation data layers. And so those are now more important than ever, because AI is always looking at reputation. And reviews do not only persuade people, but they teach AI what your agency is known for. And so for local insurance agencies, the AI systems need reliable information about your agency name, your location, your phone number, your business hours, your services, your reviews, your coverage categories, customer sentiment, geographic relevance, and your Google business profile is going to provide the majority of those signals. So here are some priorities for you when it comes to your Google business profile. Make sure that you're maintaining your accurate information, correct categories, current hours, that you are uploading fresh photos on a regular basis, that you are asking for reviews on a regular basis, keeping those recent, that you're responding to reviews, that you're posting regularly, that you are putting Q&A content out there, and that your service information stays correct. Remember, your Google business profile should not operate independently from your website, your content, your reviews, or your advertising. It is another node in the ecosystem, and it needs to operate synergistically with everything else. And then reviews are also machine readable reputation. The old way of thinking was that reviews help customers trust you. But the new way of thinking is that reviews help consumers and AI systems understand what your agency is known for. So what you're going to find in these AI overviews is they will often talk about what types of repeated client language are found in your reviews. Customers often say, this agency is known for X. So repeated client language can establish themes around responsiveness, home insurance, auto insurance, Medicare, claim support, local expertise, savings, education, customer service, commercial insurance. Because at the end of the day, your reputation is becoming structured data. And AI platforms can interpret patterns across hundreds of customer experiences. And that makes systematic review generation an authority strategy, not simply reputation management. So keep that in mind. It is now an authority strategy because AI is going to look at what is the theme, what is the common element that is found in those reviews. And then advertising and measurement are changing as well. So don't measure the future with only your old traffic reports. Let's talk a little bit about this. Some agents hear this and may think this is a little confusing. So I want to set this straight because one of the things we're seeing in metrics that's a little hard to understand is that if website traffic is declining, then Google ads must be dying too. But that's not necessarily the case because advertising is also changing along with search. And here's the shift that Google in particular is making. Advertising is becoming more dependent upon strong creatives, audience signals, first-party data, video, content, and AI-driven matching. So it has to have clear offers and conversion infrastructure. So the old scoreboard was website sessions, keyword rankings, page views, and clicks. But the new scoreboard is AI mentions, share of voice, branded search lift, calls and quotes, cost per acquisition, and production outcomes. And so you can no longer think about which keyword should I bid on. The larger question becomes, does Google understand who my ideal prospect is, what I offer, why I'm relevant, and what outcome I want? And so paid media actually becomes stronger when it is supported by good reviews, strong content, video, local authority, an optimized Google business profile, conversion infrastructure, CRM follow-up. Again, the strong ecosystem is what wins. And so paid media gets stronger when your ecosystem gives AI and ad platforms better inputs. So creatives, reviews, content, conversion paths, and first-party data. And so again, as I mentioned, the traditional metrics are not really the things that we have to watch now. We have to look at different things because the old metrics are incomplete. We have to look at, are we appearing in AI generated answers? Are the AI platforms mentioning your agency? Are prospects discovering you without visiting the website? Are branded searches increasing? Are calls increasing? Are quote requests increasing? Are more prospects saying, I saw you everywhere? Is our cost per acquisition improving? Are we gaining more share of the local voice? So move from obsessing over traffic towards measuring market presence and production outcomes. So again, the website still matters, but you have to build the right website. The website in itself is not disappearing tomorrow. People are still going to visit. Prospects will still validate your agency, and some will even still convert there. But your website is not a digital monument. It is not the only place that transactions are going to happen. And so you don't need to go through endless redesign cycles focused primarily on aesthetics. What you do need is a website that functions as a trust layer, a conversion layer, a structured data source, a content hub, and a local authority signal. And so when you're looking at your website, you need to step back and really ask a few questions. Can prospects immediately call you? Can they request a quote? Can they schedule? Can they find the right coverage? Can they understand your specialization? Can they see reviews? Can they meet your team? Can they find answers? Can they verify your location? Can they understand why your agency is different? Those are the types of questions the website has to answer. Those are the types of questions that AI is looking for when it visits your website. So build your website for usefulness, for authority, for structured information and conversion, not just vanity. And make every part of your ecosystem conversion friendly. So the old funnel was you ran an ad, you pushed it to your website, and you pushed the visitor to a form. The new reality is that a prospect may discover you through an AI answer, through your Google business profile, through YouTube, through a social post, through a review, through maps. There's actually now a feature called Ask Maps that is AI driven, through a paid ad, through a third-party directory, through your website. So every surface needs to have a logical next step. The question you need to ask yourself, can someone convert, call you directly, message the agency, schedule an appointment, request a quote, ask a question, or find the appropriate specialist from any of those properties? And if not, how can you build those conversion features into those other properties? See, the prospect of the future may increasingly transact without navigating to your website at all. Your infrastructure has to support that possibility, that they may actually transact with you and never come to your website at all. In fact, one of the pieces that Google is now implementing and starting to test is where the AI agent can actually call your office to schedule an appointment on behalf of the person doing the search without, again, that person ever visiting your website or your business profile. So if you're getting calls from the Google agent, you need to take those calls because Google is testing whether or not a person can schedule using the AI agent. Now, I want to give you a readiness plan, and we're starting to land the plane here. So here's some action steps for you. This is a readiness framework. The first layer is going to be agency knowledge. And what you want to look at is products, locations, specializations, team expertise, carrier relationships where appropriate, FAQs, your ideal clients, your differentiators, and your processes, and then your community expertise. So that's the first layer you want to make sure you have in place. Your second layer is your authority content. Are you building content around real client questions? Your third layer is going to be your distribution layer. Are you deploying that content around your website, your Google business profile, YouTube, social media channels, and your email list? Your fourth layer is going to be your reputation, building consistent third-party proof through your reviews and your mentions. Your fifth layer will be your conversion layer, making sure that every major touch point is capable of moving your prospect forward. Is there a conversion element in every touch point that your prospect may go to? And your sixth layer is going to be your automation layer, using AI and automation to repurpose, to follow up, to nurture, to analyze, to personalize, and then to improve your response speed. Now, this is why an agency cannot solve the search shift that AI is bringing by purchasing just another isolated tactic. That's why Siloed marketing strategies alone are not going to solve this for you. Just doing SEO alone doesn't solve it. Social media alone doesn't solve it. Pay-per-click alone doesn't solve it. A prettier website doesn't solve it. The competitive advantage comes when you orchestrate all of these components together within the entire ecosystem in a unified strategy. And so over the next 30 days, I want to give you this plan to help you do that. So in the first week, start by just capturing the questions. Document the 25 most common questions that your prospects and your clients are asking your agency. And look at things like price, coverage, claims, discounts, carrier questions, bundling, renewals, eligibility, and local risks. In week number 2, what I want you to do is create some original expertise. So pick 5 of those 25 questions that are of the highest value and turn on your smartphone and record the answer to those 5 questions on video. In week number 3, I want you to repurpose the content. Take those video answers and turn each one into a blog post, short form videos, a Google business profile post, social media posts, FAQs, and an email to your email list. And then in the 4th week, I want you to audit the ecosystem. Evaluate the conversion path on your website, your Google business profile, your reviews, YouTube, your social media accounts, your paid ads, and just ask, does every platform reinforce the same authority and make it easy for my prospects to take the next step? And as we close out today, I just want to leave you with this thought. The future belongs to the agency that AI can trust. Every major change in how consumers find businesses creates a window of opportunity. And right now, there is a land grab happening. In the past, there was Yellow Pages, and then there was Google Search, and then Google Maps and social media. And now there is AI-driven and agentic discovery. And the truth is, most insurance agencies and agents will react slowly. They will continue to chase rankings, buy leads, publish generic blogs, redesign their websites, and run disconnected campaigns. And the agencies that understand the shift will actually do something different. They will systematically begin using digital ecosystems. And they will know who they help, what they know, where they operate, why they are trusted, and why they should be recommended. And they will deploy that across the ecosystem. And so, because they've done that, they understand that their website is really not going away. They understand that their website is just another data layer. And that the future belongs to the agencies that build authority across their ecosystem. And so that when their prospect searches, asks, watches, or scrolls, or sends an AI agent to do it for them, their agency is going to be unavoidable because they have done a good job of laying a proper foundation across their digital ecosystem. So the question is your agency ready for AI search? So take the time to evaluate whether your marketing ecosystem gives Google or ChatGPT or Perplexity or Grok or any other AI platform enough information and authority to recommend you as the provider of choice for the customer who is asking for that decision. And if you need help figuring out how to put that ecosystem together, then reach out to us at Agent Branding and Marketing. We'd love to have a strategy session with you, and you can do that at agentbrandingandmarketing.com/schedule. And the final question is this: if AI were choosing an insurance agency in your market today, would it choose you?